You stand in line at the pharmacy for 11 minutes. Somewhere else, at the exact same 11 minutes, someone made $40,000. Time didn't change. What an hour of it is worth did. This is the story of that number and what it does to everything it touches. Level 1, $12 an hour. You clock in at 7:58 for an 8 o'clock shift because 2 minutes early is the unspoken rule, and nobody had to tell you that. You just learned it the way you learn everything here, by watching what happens to the people who don't. Your hour is worth $12 before taxes, $10.20 after, which means the 11 minutes you spent in that pharmacy line yesterday, the one where you were picking up a prescription you needed to split into smaller doses because the full bottle cost more than you had, that 11 minutes was worth $1.87 of your life, and you know this number without calculating it because you've done this math so many times it happens automatically now, a background process that never turns off. You take a lunch break, unpaid, 30 minutes, which means the break itself costs you $6 in wages you're not earning while you sit in the break room eating the sandwich you made because buying lunch here costs an hour and change of your labor for a sandwich that took someone else 4 minutes to make. Time at this level is not abstract. It is the most concrete thing you own, and you spend it defending against its erosion constantly. Standing in line is not neutral. It is a withdrawal. Waiting on hold with the utility company for 22 minutes is not an inconvenience. It is $3.74 gone, spent on hold music, and you know this too. The first rule, at $12 an hour, time doesn't feel like a resource because it never stops being currency. It's spent every second whether or not you're the one spending it. Level 2, $20 an hour. The raise came from a new job, a real one, and the math changes but not the reflex. Your hour is worth $20 now, $17 after taxes, and the 11 minutes in line is $3.12 instead of $1.87, which sounds like it should feel like progress, and mostly does, briefly, before the new expenses catch up to the new number the way they always do. You still calculate everything. A grocery delivery fee of $7.99 gets compared instantly against the 25 minutes it would take you to drive there and back, and the math is close enough that you go anyway most weeks, because $17 an hour still means every choice has a visible price tag attached whether or not the receipt shows it. You start noticing something new at this level though, a version of yourself who exists in the gap between what you're doing and what you could be earning while doing it. You watch television for 2 hours on a Tuesday night and a small, unwelcome voice in your head runs the math. 2 hours, $34 you didn't make? Not that you were going to make it anyway, but the awareness has arrived and it doesn't fully leave again. Time at $20 an hour is still finite and still precious, but a second kind of pressure has entered the room, the pressure of tracking what you're not earning during the hours you're not working. The second rule, at $20 an hour, you gain enough margin to occasionally not think about the cost of an hour, and then you start thinking about the hours you're not being paid for instead. Level 3, salaried, $65,000 a year. Something strange happens the moment you cross into salary. The hourly number disappears from your paycheck entirely, but it doesn't disappear from your head, it just gets harder to calculate, because now the denominator is unclear. Is it 40 hours a week, the number in your contract, which comes out to about $31 an hour? Or is it the actual 48 hours you worked last week because a deadline moved, which brings the real number down to $26 an hour, a pay cut nobody announced and nobody has to announce because salary doesn't work that way. Salary absorbs the extra hours silently and calls the absorption professionalism. You stop clocking in. You stop clocking out. The 11 minutes in the pharmacy line stops having an exact dollar figure attached to it in your head. Not because it isn't costing you something, but because the math has gotten blurry enough that the constant tracking finally, mercifully, exhausts itself. This should feel like freedom. It mostly does, for a while. Then you notice you're checking email at 9:40 on a Sunday night for reasons that have nothing to do with any hour you're being compensated for, and the freedom from clocking your time has quietly become the freedom for your employer to have all of it whenever they'd like, without a number attached that would make the cost visible to anyone, including you. The third rule, salary doesn't eliminate the hourly wage. It just makes it invisible enough that you stop noticing when the actual number falls. Level 4, $60 an hour equivalent, $125,000 a year. You are good at your job now, genuinely good, and the market has started to reflect that. Somewhere around this level, a specific and useful thought arrives for the first time. Uninvited but not unwelcome, certain kinds of time can be bought back. You hire someone to clean your apartment every other week, $140 a visit, roughly 2.5 hours of your equivalent labor to purchase 3 hours of someone else's. And the trade makes obvious sense the first time you do the math. So you stop doing the math after that and just let the charge hit your card automatically. You start ordering groceries delivered as a default instead of an occasional convenience, the fee no longer meaningfully competing against your hourly rate the way it used to. This is the first level where time genuinely starts to feel less scarce, not because you have more of it, everyone still has 24 hours, but because the hours you don't want to spend on low-value tasks can be handed to someone else's hours instead. And the exchange rate favors you clearly enough that the decision stops requiring thought. You notice something uncomfortable underneath this convenience, though, which is that the person cleaning your apartment is almost certainly making something close to what you made at level 1, and the 2.5 hours you're saving are the same 2.5 hours she's spending in a version of the calculation you used to run every single day. You don't dwell on this. You also don't entirely stop noticing it. The fourth rule, at $60 an hour, you start buying back your own time by spending someone else's, and the math works out cleanly for exactly one side of that transaction. Level 5, $100 an hour equivalent, $210,000 a year. Time has started to reorganize itself around a different question now. Not can you afford this, but is this the highest use of the hours you have? You fly instead of drive for a trip that would have saved money by car, because the 6 hours in the driver's seat cost more in opportunity than the $340 difference in the ticket price. And this calculation, once foreign, now happens as automatically as the pharmacy line math did at level 1, just aimed in the opposite direction. You pay for expedited shipping without a second thought. You pay a premium for a direct flight over a layover, not because the layover is expensive, but because the 90 extra minutes sitting in an airport terminal have started to register as a real and specific cost, one you'd rather not pay even though the money itself is trivial. Something has inverted completely from level 1. Waiting used to be free and money used to be scarce. Now money is comparatively abundant and waiting is the expensive thing, the thing you'll pay almost any reasonable amount to avoid. You get a haircut on your lunch break at a place that charges triple the barbershop near your old apartment, because the barbershop is 25 minutes away and this place is 4, and the 21-minute difference has a price you're now willing to pay without blinking. The fifth rule, at $100 an hour, the entire architecture of your spending flips, and the currency you're most protective of is no longer money, it's minutes. Level 6, $250 an hour equivalent, $520,000 a year. You have an assistant now, not full-time but real. Someone who exists specifically to absorb the low-value hours from your calendar before they ever reach you. Meetings that don't need you get declined on your behalf. Reservations get made without your involvement. A form that would have taken you 40 minutes to understand and complete gets handled by someone else in the time it takes you to approve a summary email. You've started measuring your own calendar the way a company measures inventory, asking constantly, "What's the return on this hour?" A question that would have sounded insane to the version of you working the register at level 1, where every hour's return was identical and fixed and printed on a pay stub. The strange part is that the hours don't feel more valuable in the way you expected them to. They feel more scrutinized. You cancel a dinner with an old friend because the 2 hours don't fit cleanly against a deadline, and you notice, distantly, that you would never have made that particular trade 5 years ago, back when your hours were worth 1/10 of what they're worth now and somehow felt like they belonged to you more completely. The sixth rule, at $250 an hour, you gain extraordinary control over how your time gets spent. And somewhere in gaining that control, you start spending less of it on the things that don't show up in any calculation at all. Level 7, $1,000 an hour equivalent, $2.1 million a year. The math has become almost comic if you let yourself look at it directly, which you mostly don't. A 2-hour dinner with your family costs, if you ran the number, more than what you paid your first cleaning person for an entire month at level 4. You don't run the number. Not because you can't, but because running it now feels like a small betrayal of the thing you're trying to protect, which is the ability to be somewhere without your brain converting the minutes into currency automatically the way it did at every level before this one. This is the strange discovery waiting at $1,000 an hour. The compulsive calculation that defined level 1 and never fully disappeared through levels 2 through 6 finally starts to loosen, not because the math stopped being true, but because you've made an active decision to stop doing it. The same decision, technically, that was always available and never quite affordable until now. You still buy back time constantly, more aggressively than ever, a driver instead of driving, a chef instead of cooking, an assistant who handles an assistant. But something has shifted in what you're protecting the hours for. At level 4, you bought back time to spend it on more work. At this level, increasingly, you're buying back time to spend it on nothing measurable at all. An afternoon with no agenda, and the fact that this now feels like the rarest and most expensive purchase available to you is not lost on you, even if you don't say it out loud. The 7th rule, at $1,000 an hour, the goal quietly stops being to protect the value of your time and starts being to occasionally forget it has one. Level 8, the recalibration. You are sitting on a porch on a Wednesday afternoon that has nothing scheduled on it, an unusual and slightly disorienting condition you arranged deliberately. And a neighbor's kid, 12 or 13, is mowing a lawn 3 houses down for what you happen to know is $20 a job, cash, taking him about 90 minutes including the trimming. You watch him for a while without meaning to. You remember, with a clarity that surprises you, standing behind a register doing the exact same silent arithmetic he's probably not doing yet but will start doing soon. The price of everything measured instantly against the hour it costs to earn it. You think about the 11 minutes in the pharmacy line, the $1.87, a number you haven't thought about in years, and that arrives now with a specificity that startles you, like a phone number from a house you used to live in. You think about how the number has changed by roughly 400 times since then, and how the feeling of time being scarce never actually left, it just changed shape, from I don't have enough money for the hours I have, to I don't have enough hours for the money I have. A complaint that would have sounded like an insult to the person clocking in at 7:58, and you understand that completely, and you also understand that it's true. The 8th rule, the number on an hour changes by orders of magnitude across a life, and somehow the feeling underneath it, the sense that time is the one thing you can never quite get enough of, never actually goes away. It just learns a new currency to complain in. Somewhere right now, someone is standing in a pharmacy line, 11 minutes, running math they don't know they're running, $1.87 of a life quietly spent on waiting. They think the number will fix the feeling. Somewhere else, someone making 400 times what that first hour was worth is sitting on a porch with nothing scheduled, trying to remember how to spend an afternoon without converting it into anything at all. The number changed completely. The feeling followed it the entire way and never once let go.